let me start liking more 3-point shooters.
Let me be anti.
I can't dunk, so I didn't really have much to follow. How long have you been playing basketball?
I'd say probably since I was 7 years old. I think I started playing early down at the Pickett's, by the way, because the way my birthday falls in early October. So Pickett's basketball. When I was young, it was Rotary basketball down at the Boys and Girls Club. There's Pickett's now. Classic graphics. I started playing. So about 7 years old, 7, 8 years old. I really got serious when I was probably in 7th, 8th grade, because 7th grade I played middle school, and then the following year, 8th grade, I got moved up to JV. And that was like when I really started to, I was playing it every day. I played it year round. That's all I did.
I remember you used to ride your bike to the park too from your house.
Yep, that's all I did. I would do it sometimes twice a day. That's all I did was just play basketball. For whatever reason, basketball just stuck with me. I think football, I don't think I was big enough. Baseball, I couldn't stay in the uniform. And basketball, I could just wear, the loose shorts or the t-shirt, and it's like, hey, I'm ready to go. So basketball, I was gravitating towards basketball.
What motivates and helps continue to drive you?
You and I talked about this earlier, but it's like some people like Lloyd coming into the league, where it's like, I still want to, I want to, my guys know this. I wanted to show them, hey, like, I can do a decent job on Lloyd. Like, listen, he played professional. I know he's 31, I'm 30, so you can't really use that as an excuse. But hey, let's see. I want to just see, how good of a job I can do. There's been a couple individuals over the years, first couple years, Monty pushed me. I saw he was putting up good numbers, and he was a good player, and so I think every year has been somebody different. Mike DeLuca, and honestly, as a coach in the area, there's been people that I've watched in high school, being, saying to myself, man, I can't wait to go against them in summer league and show them like listen, show them like how good I am. So those things that motivated me. I try to, I'm not comparing myself to Michael Jordan by any means, but I try to, like you try to find things to motivate you, and I think Jordan did that. So I try to just find things to motivate me. Obviously, there's times where it's like, listen, I don't want to work out, or I don't, everybody goes through those things, but I just try to, devil's advocate, just try to get myself to do something. And I use people. I've used your team. I've used, like I said, Monty before. I've used DeLuca, and I've used guys like that have just, come out of school. A perfect example of a kid would be like a Lamport kid. Have he ever played in this league? Or the kid out of Cooperstown, what's his name? Bertram. I would love to. I'd love to say, I want to see actually how good they really are.
Yeah, it was Bertram and Lamport both played in the spring league, and I had Bertram on my team for the spring league, or the first week of the summer league actually, with Lloyd, but he just had too many shooters, so he couldn't really find the rack.
He's not used to that.
Yeah, and then Lamport played in the spring league, and he, I think he got Offensive Player of the Year. It was tough up though. He dunked on college kids. And like Albert's another one that when I first when he was up and coming, I wanted to and him and I worked out together, played one-on-one. So it's stuff like that. The younger kids definitely push me to try to stay young and stay relevant for sure. Yeah. So I know you said something about George being a shooter, but can you discuss various roles on your team and how importance of knowing your role and adapting your role to team play?
He's trying to get his scouting report for next year. No, I've when I put a team together, I try to surround myself with people, everybody. I try to surround ourselves with people who are going to complement each other. So if I know, like, listen, I can get to the basket, I drive to the basket, and people are going to help. Miller's a shooter, George is a shooter. You either have to, if you don't help on me, they're gonna. If I'm gonna have a layup, or if you do help on me, they're gonna have open jump shots. I know they both know how to play the game of basketball. We all played for the same system, going to Indiana, so that helps. Guys like Jake Van Duzen, obviously a big guy, one of the bigger guys in the league, strong in the post. Aaron Lang kind of gives us, he gives us defense, he gives us offense, he can shoot the ball, he can, post up if he's got a mismatch. I think we just, if our team as a whole, I just think we complement each other. I think we enjoy playing with each other. If you would ask me who are my favorite guys to play with, I'd have to name everybody on my summer league team. So I think that helps a lot. You've been doing this for 4 years. You know the teams. You see every team play. You've seen teams that there's certain guys that they don't want to pick up anymore, or they're like, for whatever reason, they're on a different team the following year. And why is that? It's because they probably didn't like playing with that certain individual. For us, for the most part, we like playing with each other from top down, bottom up, So I think that helps. Everybody knows the role, and everybody at the end of the day is unselfish. Like, I don't understand, or I don't care if, I'm not the leading scorer. In the championship, my guys can attest, but I was deferring. I was trying to get George and Miller and those guys open shots, and Greg Mattice. He had a good championship tournament, I thought. Alec Percentage did. And Miller at one point said, he said, listen, he screamed at me, and it's like, yo, you got to take that shot. So it kind of goes to show. I think if you've been playing together 4 years like you have, maybe that stuff helps. But, I think we're an unselfish group, and, best team I've ever played on.
What do you think your proudest basketball moment's been?
Ooh, that's hard. In the summer league or overall?
Either one, or both.
Well, I'll use the summer league because it's a summer league interview, but I would say for the summer league it was I don't know if you remember, but I think it was the first year we played the Dorseys in the championship.
Yep.
And
no Miller.
And I'll be honest with you, I thought, and it was outdoors, I didn't think we had a good shot. I honestly, and that was, I think, it was our first one. So part of me was like, man, I'm not going to win again, because for a while when I played in the summer leagues, I hadn't won until I played in the Blendos, and I thought, Dorsey's is going to be tough. I'm playing outside. Miller's not going to be there. Miller had been playing really well. He was on vacation, I think.
Yeah, he got the co-MVP that year.
But we ended up beating him, and I think we beat him pretty good. And then I'd say beating you guys. Lloyd is just a tough, he's definitely the best player that's ever been in the league. Real recognized, I respect him a whole lot. He's a hell of a player. And, I wasn't going into the game saying like, oh man, we're going to lose, but I was definitely thinking like, man, we're going to have our work cut out for us, because he's that good of a basketball player.
It's a good thing it wasn't one game series.
Well, and then I was just going to say, and especially after losing the first game, I'm like, man, we lost the first game. They got all this momentum. Man, now we got to win 2 in a row. I mean, that's a tough hill to climb. But, obviously we ended up doing it. So I'd say those 2 moments are probably, in the summer league, those are probably the top 2 for sure. Absolutely.
If you had to pick a top 5 Blendos team, who would it be?
Like top 5, like just 5 Blendos players?
Yep.
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow,
you can do overall, you can do offense or defense.
Man, I'd have to put Lloyd in there, just because he's definitely the best player that's ever been in there. I'd have to put Miller in there for sure, because he's just, longevity. He's just, in my opinion, he's been able to do it. For a big guy, I think the best big guy we probably had in the league has probably been Scott Taggart. So I put Taggart in there. So that's 3. I'd probably put myself in there, just to dish the ball to Lloyd. And then, I don't know, that last spot is hard, I think there's a lot of deserving people. I don't know who would get it. You could even put somebody in there like Albert, who actually, he didn't play much in the summer league, but definitely, he's going to Binghamton. He's a hell of a player. Jordan Gutierrez, hell of a player. Anybody on Green, DJ Lang. So it's really hard. Tanner Metzko, he's definitely deserving. The Luka kid is deserving. If you said just Blendos, he's probably not so deserving because he's a little bit older. But Eddie. I mean, what Eddie's done in his summer leagues, you know, and so that's really hard.
Besides what we've talked about already, what were your other thoughts on the 2016 season?
I thought it was just fun. I thought it added a different dynamic being up at Job Corps, like I said. It was really fun being up there. My favorite game that I played all year was actually the game we played Job Corps. The crowd was crazy. They were into the game, obviously, because you were playing with them.
Yeah.
They knew that we were, you know, like one of the better teams in the league. And it was actually a really good game. It was back and forth. I think it was back and forth the whole first half, and I think even the second half. We got a little bit of a lead.
We had the lead the first half, and then we took it. But that team, they had a lot of talented players, but they had emotional roller coasters. So that's why I played with them to, you know, pass the ball and keep them grounded.
They had a ton of talent. So, you know, Job Corps, I thought, added a cool dynamic. The talent that you got with the white team this year added a cool dynamic, as well as your red team in Lloyd. So
we also got to talk about the pickup of Joe Ballard this year, because he potentially saved your season with the 3 versus black when you almost lost.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, so he was a huge pickup. I forget who I had all the seasons blend, but him. I knew after last season George was one of my. I wanted George bad. Like, I knew I was going to ask George to play. I knew he would fit. I knew he would fit with us well because he played the same system as us, and he's unselfish and he can shoot the ball, so he complements us. And Joe, you know, I just thought defensively, you know, and he has a great IQ. He knows the game, and you know, he was available and.